Picture this: a man who once ran from a servant girl's question, trembling in the dark, now stands eye to eye with the full fury of the Roman Empire. Jesus called him the Rock, but this fisherman, he spent his whole life fighting his own shifting sands. Today we witness Simon Peter's final, staggering chapter, from a charcoal fire of denial to an inverted cross on Vatican Hill. Why did the leader of the 12 make one shocking, final request to his executioners? And how did his death become the foundation of a faith that Rome could not crush? This is the story of the man who finally saw the world as God sees it, from a cross turned upside down. History calls him a saint, a pillar, the first leader of the church. But before he was the Rock, he was just Simon, a man of big promises and shaky courage. He walked on water, then sank in doubt. He drew a sword in a garden and was rebuked by the very king he tried to protect. But here's the truth: Peter's story was never about human perfection. It was always about divine restoration. After the resurrection, Jesus found Peter by the Sea of Galilee. 3 denials, 3 questions. Do you love me? Each yes peeled back another layer of Peter's shame. But restoration came with a price. Jesus told him, "When you were young, you dressed yourself. You went wherever you wanted. But a day is coming when you will stretch out your hands, and someone else will lead you where you do not want to go." Peter understood. This was not a metaphor for old age. This was a prophecy of a cross. And for 30 years, he carried that promise in his chest, building the church from Jerusalem all the way to the heart of the beast, Rome itself. 64 AD, Rome became a graveyard. A massive fire tore through the city, and Emperor Nero, desperate to bury his own failures, pointed the finger at the followers of the way. What followed was a nightmare made flesh. Christians were sewn into animal skins and thrown to dogs. They were turned into human torches to light Nero's gardens at night. The net was closing. Peter's friends begged him to run, and tradition tells us he did. He was walking down the Appian Way, leaving the city behind, when he saw something that stopped him cold: Jesus, walking toward the fire. Peter whispered, "Quo vadis, Domine? Where are you going, Lord?" And the answer shattered him. "I am going to Rome, to be crucified again." In that moment, Peter knew to turn from the fire was to turn from Christ. He turned around, and he walked back into the chains. Vatican Hill. The soldiers prepared the nails. But the man who once denied Christ 3 times, he made a request that stunned the Roman guards. "I am not worthy," he said, "to die in the same manner as my Lord." He demanded to be crucified, upside down. The cross was raised, flipped, blood flooded his brain. The pain was an agonizing, crushing weight. But Peter did not scream curses. He preached until his voice faded, until his spirit left his body. He proclaimed the name of the King who had forgiven him. And in that moment, Peter finally saw the world clearly. The kingdom of man is upside down compared to the kingdom of God. What the world calls defeat, God calls victory. What the world calls death, God calls the beginning of life. For centuries, Peter's grave was dismissed as a pious legend. Then, in the 1940s, excavators dug beneath the main altar of the Vatican and found exactly what tradition promised: the bones of an elderly man, a modest grave, and ancient graffiti that shouted one truth across the centuries: Peter is here. The rock upon which Christ built his church was literally resting beneath the heart of Christendom. Peter's blood did not just spill on that hill. It planted a seed that an entire empire could not uproot. The rock's final stand teaches us something we all need to hear: your failures do not define your finish. Peter was a man of many falls, but every single time he tripped, he fell toward Christ. Maybe you feel like shifting sand today, unstable, fearful, crushed by your own past. But the same King who restored a broken fisherman by a charcoal fire, he wants to make a rock out of you. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to walk back into the fire because you know the King is already there. So where are you going today? The door to restoration is still open.